Chosen one, listen closely and take this in with a calm mind. If this message finds you today, consider it a direct interruption of routine for a reason that matters. What you assumed was fixed has shifted. The outlines you once drew for your future have been redrafted, not to diminish you, but to free you from paths that no longer serve your purpose. The phrase, "I do not care about the old plan," is not indifference. It is a declaration that the season of clinging to what failed to bear fruit has ended. A reset has begun, not to erase your story, but to author the next chapter with clarity. The familiar may feel safer, yet it is often the barrier to what is truly yours. Accept that the map has changed, and that the guide who leads you now sees farther than you can. You may feel the jolt of sudden change, the sensation that everything you prepared for has been set aside. It is natural to meet this with resistance. Yet many turning points in history were born from courses that veered without warning. People who were overlooked stepping into leadership, communities that endured dry years and then harvested in abundance, lives that pivoted from struggle to strategy. Your story is entering that same field of possibility. Where logic once had the final word, faith and disciplined action now take the lead. What seems like chaos is, in fact, reordering. What looks like loss may be the removal of weight that you were never meant to carry. Consider this a transition from managing decline to building momentum. The promise in front of you is not small. It is comprehensive. Yes, it may touch resources, visibility, and influence, but its deeper work is in your thinking, your convictions, and your willingness to move with purpose. The most valuable part of what is coming is not what you will own, but who you will become. Steadier, clearer, and anchored in work that genuinely fits your design. This is a season of replacement rather than repair. What wore you out is being traded for what will sustain you. If waiting has been your constant companion, the pace is changing. Where the days once felt long and unproductive, there is now a sense of compression, as if years of preparation are converging into weeks. Your role is not to race, but to keep step. Panic ruins timing. Steady focus protects it. Let go of the urge to argue with the shift, or to explain it to those who will not understand. You do not owe a defense for growth. You owe your attention to the next right step. If your past months have been marked by disappointment or loss, do not misread endurance as failure. Endurance is proof you are still in position. Many who rose from obscurity did so after seasons of being dismissed or sidelined. That is not a romantic idea. It is a pattern. You are not disqualified by pain. You are shaped by it. What once pressed you down can now become the footing under your next decision. Call this what it is: the turning point where your private resilience becomes public strength. The aim is not to return to what once was, but to graduate into what now fits. Your goals may be changing, and that is appropriate. Some ambitions belong to an earlier version of you. The mission now is larger in scope, but cleaner in execution. Expect assignments that demand courage, a steadier schedule, and wiser boundaries. Expect to be asked for choices that prioritize long-term contribution over short-term applause. This is not about doing everything. It is about doing the necessary things well. Imagine the next 15 days as a defined window, not for frenzy, but for alignment. Windows close when people hesitate. They open wider when people prepare. Use this time to clear noise, set simple routines, and make room for instructions that will not be delivered twice. You do not need every detail to begin. You need a posture that says yes to the step in front of you. Small, faithful actions will compound more than a long list of unfinished intentions. Within this window will come moments that are more than chance. They are scheduled intersections. Think of them as 3 decisive opportunities that pull you forward. They may arrive through an invitation, a conversation, or a problem that only you can solve. They may feel too big at first glance. That is not a sign to retreat, but a cue to breathe and move anyway. The habit to cultivate is prompt obedience, responding without dramatizing the difficulty. The sooner you learn to say a clean yes to what aligns with your purpose and a clean no to what dilutes it, the faster you'll gain ground. Guidance will not only be inward, it will also be timely and external. Messages may arrive through ordinary means: a line you read, a mentor's comment, an unexpected email that changes the calendar. Treat these moments with respect. Write them down. Sitting with clarity is as important as running with it. A sharpened decision made in quiet will always outrun a hurried decision made in noise. As you notice these signals, do not crowd them with constant talking. Some instructions work best when held in confidence until action has been taken. Provision will appear in ways you cannot fully predict. Call it a hidden lottery if you must, not because it is random, but because it may arrive through channels you did not plan or track. What matters is not the mystery of the source, but the stewardship of the supply. If the unexpected comes, fees waived, doors opened, resources offered, let gratitude be your first reflex and prudent planning your second. Invisible help tends to increase when visible waste is reduced. Use what arrives to underwrite the work that is yours, not to imitate someone else's life. Do not be surprised if the path to elevation includes sharp moments that sting. The presence of challenge does not contradict the presence of favor. It often confirms it. The shock of a relationship ending, a plan dissolving, or a schedule breaking can serve as a release valve. Some attachments had to loosen for your hands to be free. Meet these interruptions with honesty and then with discipline. Feel what you feel, then translate it into movement. The goal is not to appear unmoved. The goal is to remain directed. Work will happen in quiet places. Preparation behind the scenes is not a demotion. It is a development lane. There are seasons when public metrics cannot measure real progress. In those seasons, character grows, skills are sharpened, and convictions settle. Others may not notice the effort, but the absence of applause is not evidence of absence of impact. The people who value results will see them when it counts. Until then, do the work that cannot be faked. Study, practice, rest, and repeat. Treat this moment like a final call to organize your inner life. Trim what wastes time. Set boundaries that allow deep work. Decide which relationships build your core and which ones deplete it. Clarify what you will no longer accept from yourself. Procrastination disguised as perfectionism, constant comparison, and aims that contradict your values. The reset will feel strict at first, but freedom increases where structure is respected. The image of a shattered blueprint is useful because it frees you from the pressure to recreate the old drawing. Start clean. Ask better questions. What problem am I built to solve? Who benefits when I do my work well? What routine sustains me without borrowing against my health? What trade-offs am I willing to make for the next 12 months? Write your answers plainly. Plans do not need to be dramatic to be effective. They need to be honest and executable. Anticipate swift movement. Some breakthroughs do not require 1,000 steps. They require one correct step taken without delay. If a door opens that aligns with your mission and ethics, walk through it without gathering a committee of doubters. If a door closes, do not camp in front of it. Closed doors are data, not insults. Reroute and keep your pace. You are not behind. You are being streamlined. Fast tracking does not eliminate process. It removes detours. Expect to learn quickly and to be held to a higher standard as influence grows. Visibility magnifies both strengths and flaws, which is why your preparation matters. Keep humility close. Ask for feedback from people who want your success more than they want your approval. Correct course early. An ego that refuses correction is the heaviest anchor a rising person can drag. The season of chronic struggle is ending, not because life will never test you again, but because your habits are improving and your decisions are aligning. Relief will show up as a quieter mind, steadier relationships, and work that replenishes more than it drains. Healing is not only emotional, it is practical. It looks like sleeping enough to think clearly, moving your body so stress has somewhere to go, and choosing words that de-escalate rather than inflame. Your assignment may evolve. Do not confuse loyalty to a method with loyalty to a mission. Methods change, missions deepen. If the work you did yesterday equipped you for the work you will do tomorrow, then nothing was wasted. Watch for new lanes that better match your strengths. You are allowed to outgrow roles that once fit. You are allowed to start modestly in a new arena and gain mastery through repetition. Understand that a rewritten future does not erase your past. It reframes it. The lessons remain. The limitations do not. Imagine your next pages filled with outcomes that match your effort. More accurate collaboration, cleaner finances, and simpler systems. This is not fantasy. It is the cumulative effect of clarity applied daily. If you need proof that change is possible, begin with a 7-day streak of small commitments kept. Momentum is a quiet builder. It multiplies once motion begins. Take the 15-day window seriously. Mark it. Decide what you will complete, what you will begin, and what you will stop. Build mornings that are predictable and evenings that are restorative. Reduce the number of decisions you make by default by setting standards once. What you eat, when you write, how you communicate, where you will not go. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Simplicity frees energy for the work that matters. Within this span, expect 15 keys, principles and openings that unlock movement. Some will look like financial clarity, others like a mentor's timely advice, and still others like the courage to decline a misaligned offer. The measure of a key is simple. It opens what you could not open alone. Your task is to recognize it and turn it. Do not store keys in your pocket. Use them. Those 3 golden opportunities mentioned earlier will not announce themselves with fanfare. They may look ordinary. Train yourself to notice usefulness over glamour. A quiet meeting with the right person can exceed the value of a loud stage with the wrong audience. Say yes to rooms where you can contribute, learn, and build trust. Say no to rooms that only want your image without your impact. Divine signals will continue to surface. Some subtle, some striking. Keep a record. Patterns will emerge. Times of day when your best ideas arrive. People who consistently sharpen your thinking. Topics that drain you no matter how hard you try to care. Align your calendar with what works. Give your best hours to your best work. Protect that time as if your future depends on it, because it does. Provision may arrive like rain on dry ground. Do not chase it. Position for it. Clean financial practices are an act of respect for what you receive. When unexpected help comes, allocate it wisely. Stabilize what is shaky. Invest in tools that improve your craft, and share where impact will multiply. Generosity is not a strategy to look good. It is a recognition that closed hands limit flow. Rising from obscurity will feel both affirming and stretching. More eyes invite more opinions. Anchor your identity in the work, not the noise around it. Celebrate progress privately as much as publicly. Keep confidants who tell you the truth early, before small errors become public problems. Influence expands safely when integrity expands first. Part 2 will continue from here by naming the practical structures that sustain acceleration, outlining how to navigate criticism without losing momentum, and detailing the remaining keys in this window so you can act with confidence and finish the transition well. Begin by building structures that reduce decision fatigue so momentum has room to grow. Decide your non-negotiables for the next 90 days and write them simply. When you start work, when you stop, what you focus on first, and how you close the day. Keep a narrow list of priorities. 1 major outcome for the week, 3 enabling tasks, and a daily action that moves the needle. Use a calendar, not memory. Protect your first block of the day for high-value work that requires clarity, and delay communication until your main task is complete. Small routines make big transitions durable. A routine is not a cage. It is scaffolding. If a day breaks pattern, reset the next morning without drama. Consistency compounds even when it is quiet. Establish a feedback loop that is honest and timely. Choose two people whose judgment you respect and who are invested in your success. Ask them to review your decisions and your output on a fixed rhythm. Every 2 weeks works well. Give them permission to be direct. In return, give yourself permission to integrate what is useful and let go of what is not. Feedback that arrives early saves effort later. Document what you change and why. Over time, this becomes a record of growth you can refer to when doubt tests your memory. Create a simple scorecard to keep focus on outcomes rather than busyness. Track 4 items weekly. Progress on the primary initiative, quality of relationships that matter to your mission, financial clarity, and personal energy. Rate each area on a 5-point scale and write 1 sentence about what improved or slipped. Patterns will surface. When you see a dip, choose 1 corrective action, not 5. Correction is effective when it is precise. Organize communication so it supports momentum rather than interrupting it. Use 1 channel for urgent items and 1 for everything else. Standardize response times so you do not react to every ping. Clear, calm messages prevent confusion and reduce rework. When you need to decline a request, do it briefly and respectfully. Thank them, name your current focus, and, if appropriate, suggest a later time or a more suitable contact. Boundaries stated early are easier to keep. As visibility increases, criticism often follows. Treat criticism as data before you treat it as threat. Separate the message from the tone. Ask, what is the claim? What evidence supports it? What, if anything, should change? Some critiques flag real blind spots. Others reflect the critic's preferences. Build a practice of responding slowly. A 24-hour pause prevents most missteps. If a correction is needed, make it without self-attack. If the critique is baseless, let your results answer it. Silence is not surrender. It is selection of the right arena. Not all resistance is external. Internal pushback appears as second-guessing, perfectionism, or a sudden desire to complicate what should stay simple. When this shows up, return to your plan for the week and execute the next action exactly as written. Action reduces noise. If you need a reset, step outside for 10 minutes, hydrate, and restart the timer. The skill that separates those who finish from those who stall is the ability to begin again without indulging the story that it's all ruined. Guard your attention. A focused hour is worth more than a distracted afternoon. Remove default distractions. Turn off non-essential notifications, keep the phone out of reach during deep work, and block websites that invite endless scrolling. When you feel the urge to check, write down what you are about to do and why. Naming the impulse breaks its power. Build in short, planned breaks and return on time. Attention is a muscle. Train it. Money will move through this season. Treat finances with clarity and calm. List your fixed costs, your variable costs, and your targets. Create a reserve before you expand. If unexpected revenue arrives, allocate it intentionally. A portion to stability, a portion to investment in tools or learning, a portion to generosity. Avoid sudden lifestyle inflation. It turns a gift into a burden. If resources are tight, reduce complexity, not standards. Do fewer things better, and costs often follow. Partnerships will matter more as your work expands. Choose collaborators whose values align with yours. Before you say yes, define the win, the roles, the rhythm of communication, and a clear exit process. Put it in writing. Clarity honors everyone. In meetings, move quickly from ideas to decisions. What will be done, by whom, and by when? Follow through is your reputation in motion. The remaining keys for this transition revolve around alignment, execution, and resilience. The first is the key of clarity under pressure. When timelines compress, people default to habits. Write your 3 rules for pressure days. For example, do the most valuable task first, communicate early if a deadline moves, and never trade accuracy for speed without naming the trade. Pressure then becomes a test you are prepared to pass. Next is the key of values-based selection. Opportunities will appear that look attractive, yet pull you off mission. Make a short values filter and run decisions through it. Does this align with my purpose? Does it serve the people I'm called to serve? Is the timing right? Do I have the capacity to do it well? A single no is enough to walk away. Declining quickly is a sign of maturity, not fear. Then comes the key of small public wins. Share progress that educates or helps, rather than posts that seek applause. People trust consistent value. Publish lessons learned, tools you found useful, or frameworks that solved real problems. Let your work market your work. This creates inbound trust that is better than cold outreach. Another key is the discipline of rehearsal. If an event, presentation, or negotiation matters, practice it out loud. Record, review, refine. Rehearsal is not about becoming artificial. It is about allowing your best self to show up on time. Those who practice look lucky because they arrive prepared. There is also the key of rest that restores. Recovery is part of performance, not a reward after it. Sleep on a schedule. Keep one screen-free hour before bed. Move your body daily, even modestly. Eat in a way that supports steady energy. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It is a cost with interest. Protect the engine that carries the mission. A further key, the habit of asking better questions. When facing a block, ask what constraint, if removed, would unlock movement. When a plan works, ask what made it work and how to replicate it. When a relationship matters, ask what support would be meaningful right now. Better questions produce better maps. The key of documentation is quiet but powerful. Write down processes that work. Create checklists for recurring tasks. Store templates for emails and proposals you use often. Systems rescue you when motivation dips. They also make it easier to delegate when growth demands it. There is the key of integrity under advantage. When leverage appears, audiences listening, resources available, choose what is right over what is easy. Keep promises. Credit collaborators. Fix errors transparently. Integrity compounds like interest. So does the lack of it. You cannot build a future you respect on shortcuts you regret. The key of learning in public pairs humility with confidence. Share that you are iterating and invite thoughtful input. This attracts peers who value substance. It also disarms those who expect perfection by positioning you accurately. Committed, improving, and open to refinement. Consider the key of geographic and digital environment. Set up a workspace that cues you to begin. Keep your tools visible, your distractions invisible. Tidy the space at day's end so tomorrow's start is frictionless. Online, curate your feeds toward learning and away from noise. Your environment shapes your choices more than you think. Hold the key of patient scale. It is tempting to add complexity when a little traction appears. New offerings, new platforms, new partnerships. Grow the core before adding branches. Let demand pull expansion. Do not push it from insecurity. If you can deliver excellence at the current level, the next level often invites you. The key of crisis protocol is an anchor when surprises arrive. Write a simple plan. Who you call, how you communicate, what you pause, what you prioritize. When a setback comes, execute the protocol rather than improvising from stress. Calm is contagious. Your team, your clients, and your community will mirror your tone. There is also the key of gratitude with specificity. Thank people for exact contributions and results. Specific gratitude strengthens relationships and morale. It reminds you that progress is rarely solo. It also keeps the ego in its proper size. Finally, the key of finishing. Many start, fewer finish. Break large projects into milestones. Give each milestone a due date, and mark completion visibly. Celebrate briefly, then move to the next step. Completion builds identity. You are someone who delivers. That identity influences every future choice. Navigating public perception as you rise requires steady choices. Do not argue with rumors. State accurate information once in a clear place, and return to the work. If criticism highlights a real misstep, own it, correct it, and share the improvement. If it is simply noise, let time and output resolve it. Your energy belongs to execution, not endless defense. Expect seasons where results arrive, but recognition lags. This is normal. Keep strengthening relationships with those you serve directly. The most reliable endorsement is the outcome you produce for real people. Influence built on usefulness endures longer than influence built on attention. As you operate in rooms that once felt out of reach, remember why you wanted access. Access without purpose drifts. Access with purpose builds. Ask yourself before each meeting, what problem am I here to solve? What do I need to learn? What decision must be made? Leave with clarity, not just contacts. The window we named earlier still matters. If you are midstream, keep your pace. If you are just beginning, do not rush to catch up. Start faithfully today. Identify the 3 moves that would make the biggest difference this week and complete them. Small wins now change the slope of your trajectory. When fear of visibility rises, reduce it to specific risks and address them. Prepare for questions. Review your materials. Confirm logistics. Fear melts when you replace uncertainty with preparation. And when nerves remain, remind yourself that service, not performance, is the point. You are there to help, not to impress. If a door you hoped for closes during this period, do not interpret it as total loss. Ask what the closed door taught you about timing, capacity, or fit. Then choose the next action that is still available. Often a closed door steers you to a corridor where several better doors exist. Protect your inner life. Keep a brief daily reflection. What you're grateful for, what worked, what needs attention tomorrow. 10 sentences can reset a crowded mind. If faith is your foundation, keep your practices steady. Prayer, reading, or silence. Anchors hold when waters move. As resources grow, avoid the trap of becoming busier and less effective. Use leverage wisely. Automate simple tasks. Delegate work that someone else can do at an acceptable standard. Retain the tasks that demand your judgment. Revisit commitments monthly and prune what no longer serves the mission. You do not owe yesterday's yes to today's reality. When new relationships appear, evaluate them over time. Early enthusiasm can hide misalignment. Look for consistency, shared values, and follow-through. Move from conversation to a small test project before committing fully. Good partnerships improve both speed and quality. Poor ones cost both. Revisit your mission statement now that you have more evidence about what fits. Make it one sentence that a stranger can understand. Then align your calendar and metrics to it. If an activity does not support the mission, reduce it or release it. The simpler the mission, the clearer the decisions. Remember to be kind to yourself while you change. Growth is uncomfortable even when it is chosen. Some days will be brilliant, others will be ordinary. Keep showing up. Most breakthroughs look like routine until the moment they look like success. The difference is cumulative effort combined with timing. If a significant opportunity arrives, one of those 3 we discussed, and you feel the weight of it, invite counsel from your trusted two. Review your values filter and make the call. Do not let fear dress up as prudence. Courage and wisdom can sit in the same chair. Sign what you need to sign, then go do the work that validates the yes. As your influence expands, keep generosity practical. Share credit. Introduce people to each other without expecting a return. Give knowledge that saves others time. Support someone who is a few steps behind you. Generosity creates networks that outlast transactions. When the 15-day window closes, you will not be finished. You will be formed. Expect evidence, a clearer schedule, 1 or 2 decisions that change your slope, a step into a room you once watched from a distance, a steadier sense of why you're doing this. Keep building from there. Repeat the practices that worked. Retire the ones that didn't. You began this shift by accepting that the old blueprint no longer governs your future. You move forward by acting on what aligns today. Plans are living documents. Update them. Goals are guides, not judges. Use them. Systems are servants. Strengthen them. And the person at the center, you, remains the decisive factor. Stay steady. Stay honest. Stay teachable. If you need a simple close to this season, make it this. Decide, do, review, refine, repeat. That loop outperforms intensity that fades. It builds trust with yourself and with others. It turns opportunity into outcome. You are not late. You are right on time for the path that fits you now. Keep your words measured, your actions meaningful, and your attention on the work that matters. The reset has already begun. The rest is follow-through. Chosen one, as we bring this message to a close, let this not just be words you listen to, but a clear invitation to take action. Transformation doesn't happen only by hearing. It happens when you decide to align your steps with what you've learned. You've heard about timing, discipline, structure, and the reset that is already unfolding in your life. The question is simple. What will you do with it? If this message has spoken to you, begin by committing to your own growth. Take a moment today, yes, today, not tomorrow, to identify one area where you can apply silence, focus, or discipline. Maybe it's reducing distractions. Maybe it's clarifying your goals. Or maybe it's stepping away from an old pattern that no longer serves you. Small changes compound, and each deliberate step proves that you are serious about your mission. But don't stop there. Growth requires community. That's why we invite you to stay connected here. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. By doing so, you're not just supporting this channel, you're joining a space designed to keep you motivated and focused as you navigate your journey. Every video we share is created to guide you with clarity and perspective. Subscribing ensures you don't miss the next insight, the next instruction, or the next reminder that could make the difference between hesitation and momentum. Engagement matters too. When you leave a comment, whether it's a reflection, a takeaway, or even a single word, you are solidifying your own commitment. Writing it down makes it real. It also encourages others who may be walking through the same season. Someone may need to read your words to realize they are not alone. Your comment can become part of someone else's breakthrough. If this message gave you clarity, show your support by liking the video. It may feel like a small action, but it tells the platform to spread this message further, reaching others who need the same encouragement. Think of it as multiplying the impact. What helped you today could help thousands tomorrow, simply because you pressed a button. And finally, share. If there is someone in your life who you know is standing at the edge of change, send this video to them. Don't underestimate the power of a simple share. Often, breakthroughs begin when someone receives a message at the right time. You might be the person chosen to deliver that reminder. So here is your call. Subscribe to stay connected. Like to support the spread of these messages. Comment to anchor your commitment, and share to extend hope to others. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates change. Remember, chosen one, you are not here by accident. You are here because your next chapter has already begun. Step into it with clarity, discipline, and faith. And let this be the day you decide not just to listen, but to move.